Hi, this is Ryan Dotson with SurvivalSullivan.com. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about processing animals after you've been hunting or trapping. So we're talking about skinning the animal, gutting the animal, and butchering the animal. Now, this is a subject we could easily spend a half hour discussing, especially when you talk about the different sizes of animals and all the different potential hunting and trapping opportunities you might have. But I'm going to give you a very brief overview of how this process works. And believe it or not, butchering and processing a squirrel is not all that different from doing the same thing to large game like a deer or an elk. The ideas behind it are the same. It's just at a much larger scale, and a lot of times it's more helpful to have 2 or 3 people working on it versus just one. So we're going to start with small game. We went hunting this morning and we picked up a few squirrels. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to skin and gut and butcher a squirrel. So I will meet you outside. Okay, so we're out here to work on this squirrel. Got a headshot on this guy from about 50 yards. So it's a young squirrel. It's going to be ideal for frying it up and eating it with biscuits and gravy or whatever you want to eat with it. So now, unlike a lot of animals, you're going to gut a squirrel last, and the reason why is because skinning is a lot easier if you do it that way, especially with a young squirrel. So the first thing we're going to do is spread the legs a little bit. And we're just going to remove some of the hair here right between the legs. And you probably want to use a smaller knife on this particular type of animal. And of course you want it to be as sharp as possible. Okay, so now we can kind of see the hide here and see what we're doing. And so we're going to want to make an incision right here. You want to be careful not to cut too deep because we're going to need this hide to run back up the back of the squirrel. Okay, so we've got our incision made here. Now we want to make an incision around here to the side, and we want to try and slip this knife right in between the meat and the hide. And of course you never want to cut back towards yourself, so we might have to turn it around like this and get in there. So we're just going to cut up the hide a little bit towards the back. Doesn't have to be too terribly far. We'll come over here and do the same thing on the other side. Now, for this part, I'm going to need you to zoom in on the ground here. All we're going to do is step on the tail up towards the base and rip that off there. And then that allows us to get in here and get the rest of this off. Just slip your fingers in there, and sometimes you have to give the hide a little bit of an extra cut just to get it started. At this point you can actually take your fingers and slip it in between the hide and the flesh here. Then you just pull it off like a sock. And you want to make sure you get the arms through here, so you gotta reach in and pull these guys out. Like that. Like that. Okay. And then from here, we'll go ahead and pull the hide off the legs. Come up here, and then we're going to remove the head. And then to gut the squirrel, you're going to start right in between the legs here, and you're going to just split right between. Going to cut the privates out. Like that. Open up the gut cavity without cutting into the guts. So you got to be careful, because that intestine content can spoil the meat. There we go. Get that all opened up. So from here, all I have to do is scrape out the internal organs, save what I want, like this is the heart right here. You can see, you can save that. You can save kidneys and liver if you want to. And then the guts, of course, you throw that away. From here, you just cut off the legs, cut off the feet, same on the front. And then you now have 4 pieces, legs, and then the back with the tenderloins that you can cook up.